arguments, any marginalized groups' arguments, their words filtered through your mouth.
All I have to say is that I knew it. I had an intuition. You don't know who that is. That is Takesha. I believe that's her name. She was on the most recent debating Ben Shapiro video on Jubilee. And like Dean and Parker, she makes a lot of political content. She does debating lives, things like that. First off, I'm gonna point out something y'all are not gonna like, but I'm gonna say it. If she was a white woman, if she was that girl who was like, I'm speaking on Jubilee. If she was white, that video would have 200,000 views. I literally guarantee. But I know that this video is not going to come off to the political sphere, to Jubilee fans, to Dean's fans, how she wants it to, and she knows that too. What Takesha is talking about in this video is a very common phenomenon in political and philosophical spaces. Spaces that are predominantly composed of white men. You have someone like Dean or Parker who comes from a fundamental place of privilege. Like, this privilege cannot be extracted from you. It is intertwined with your being. Engaging in this rhetoric that benefits and helps out marginalized communities is going to be almost like a hobby for you. It's not going to be something that's necessary to you. It's talking about like racial inequality and economic injustice and BLM becomes almost like garnering political correctness. You're farming intellectual points to come off a certain way, to come off as smart. When you add on actually having a platform based off of talking about these real life issues, you're gonna feel so far removed from the actual reality. You're literally paid to sit in your room and talk to people about other people's real life injustices. It almost feels like work. Not only will you feel like the smartest person in the world, the most qualified person on this topic, but when you are in a room with real life Black people and trans people, they're still gonna be in your mind, those characters that you read about in your books. Even though they are the people who are actually living this reality that you read about, you're still going to feel so structurally and so mentally above everyone else, to the point where you feel more qualified to talk to Ben Shapiro about it than them. And I agree in many cases that individuals outside of a community can be more well-versed in a topic than someone who is in the community. But the whole problem is that Jubilee puts Black people and trans people's identities up for debate in the first place. They platform these ideals as actual topics of discussion. That is the problem. When you equate the topics of gas prices and Black people's culture being inherently violent, you start to equate the two. All just start to feel like talking points. Let's be so dead ass. Why do we think that these white men who came from conservative homes are so well versed and so excited about talking about BLM? With these debates, you're treating race relations and abortion and gas prices all as the same. You have the same amount of facts for each topic, because that is what they are, they're topics. Pay attention to how Dean and Parker debate. It's always the same structure. It's always a syllogism. Whether they're talking about Biden's position on fracking or they're talking about Kamala being a DEI candidate. The whole point of debating is to get the other person to concede and to win. They generally do this well. I'm not going to ever deny that they're not well read on these topics. Will I ever say that their voices are ever going to be more valuable than someone who is actually in a community that they are discussing? No. Like Takesha said, people love hearing white people speak and white people sound smart. Cadence, their language, and just their being is always going to be valued more than a Black person or a marginalized person. When you're Black or when you're trans or when you're a woman, people don't want to hear you crying. They don't want to hear your emotion when you're talking about these experiences and problems that affect you day to day. Because for them, this is their entertainment, and for us, this is our reality. It really lies in the fact that we can never force people to respect us, to hear us, or hate the way we talk or how we are, how we act. It's so easy for white people to capitalize off of our struggles. So just thought I'd come on and say that.